and gentlemen, welcome to episode 38 of Speak On It. We back.
We are back. We are what Cam say? I'm
We,
back.
we back.
Yeah, shout out Cam. Cam Newton came back. He scored a touchdown. I knew when he was in the game. I said, "Oh, this is a touchdown play. This a touchdown play."
It was a
Soon as he
tutty.
scored, soon as he scored and he took his helmet off, I said, "Oh, he about to get his shit off." Pause.
He
And
coming
did.
in in a white fur coat. That's when I knew it didn't matter. Like he came in, if I'm not mistaken, in a white fur coat. Like you got to give him the ball. Like, he got to score. I am your host.
Two touchdowns, right? He was 2 for 2. They asked him. They asked him how much of the playbook that did he know? He said enough for 2 touchdowns worth. I said fair
Hey,
enough. I said fair
hey,
enough. I said fair enough.
you love to see it.
You know,
As
came in.
always, I am your host in the ocean, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Losty Mix. We know how you doing, but how you doing?
Hey man, look, people. It's a new type of air. It's a new type of. It's a new type of op pack in the air, as Lil Durk said. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. You know when it's been a long awaited breakup, like it's been the breakup that you've been low key waiting on. Today is that day, and I'm thrilled. I'm ecstatic. I'm exuberant. I'm gushing. I'm fuming, but not fuming in a bad way. I'm just deuces to that man.
All right.
Deuces to that man. But I'm doing good, man. It's been a blessing. Fantasy wise, it's been a little rough these last couple of weeks. Outside of fantasy wise, the Packers. I'm glad I didn't have to come in here after the Chiefs game. So
Yeah, I picked the worst week to take off ever because as soon as Q Aaron broke loose, I was thinking about you.
yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was never really that mad at the guy.
I don't think a lot of people were mad at him. I just think
I
I
was
don't
kind
think
of
people were mad at him about his stance. I think they were just mad at him because he was trying to be cute and lied.
I mean, even during the press conference, when he said he was immunized, I said, that's interesting vernacular there. But I didn't pay too much of it. And clearly, neither did anyone else.
I think Michael Smith. I know there's a clip of him going around saying, like after that press conference, yeah, he's not vaccinated. So I think he might be the only person in America who figured it out.
I mean, Aaron went to Cal. I imagine that's a really smart school. He's a very intelligent man. You know, he's a very intelligent man. He knew what he'd be doing with his vernacular.
Yeah. But what are we talking about tonight?
Hey man, tonight we talking about the last couple of weird weeks inside the NFL. It's been a strange one with a lot of underdogs pulling out some wins. We're talking a little bit about this Lions and Steelers tie. It's always weird whenever there's a tie in the NFL because there really should be no ties in the NFL. So whenever there's a tie, we feel compelled to speak on it. And then we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, as you can see behind us, if you're watching us live, Golden State Warriors, the Brooklyn Nets, big game tonight. The Warriors off to a good start, and we're going to speak on it. So let's start at the top of the docket, man.
Let's do it.
NFL's been weird these last couple weeks, dog. It's been weird. A lot of underdog wins. We had the Broncos over the Cowboys last week. I think this week, I would say the Eagles over the Broncos was a big underdog win. Shout out to the Eagles, along with a few other underdogs that were pulling out victories. So, Danny, my question to you is, are you worried about any of the contenders? Or should we really be showing more love to these underdogs?
So out of the contenders, are we just talking about like the top 4 teams in each conference?
I would think so. I would think so.
Out of those 8 teams, I'm not really worried about any of them. I will like to show love to a few underdogs, though.
Okay, I'll have it.
I know they lost this week, but the Chargers, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert, so I know they lost this week. but I'm really not worried about the Chargers, even though they're kind of slipping. They're kind of doing the Charger thing, but they're going to get right. The Chargers are going to get right. And the other underdog team that I want to show love to are the San Francisco 49ers. You beat the Rams last night.
Yeah, that was a big win.
And yeah, you beat the brakes off the Rams last night.
Okay, hold on. Now, this is my thing. So all week, everyone was talking about OBJ to the Rams, Von Miller to the Rams. They got this stacked football team. And the Rams just go out there and slap them around a little bit. So now I'm really confused on who the hell are the LA Rams, man? Do we know enough about them?
I give them a mulligan. Everyone has a bad week, but I will say the video of
2 in a row.
They've lost 2 in a row. That's right. I mean, it might be just a midseason slump. They're still 8-2. Like, I'm not concerned yet. But did you see the video of George Kittle pancaking Von Miller? Dog. That was the most racist thing I've seen in a long time.
Who's coming back, and he's coming back strong. That's a good sign for our fantasy owners out there who are maybe without a Derrick Henry and have a George Kittle.
Dog. That was racism.
You think so?
Yeah, the way he pancaked Von Miller, I was like, ooh. That could have happened in the 40s.
If this is a new era of racism, sign me up because my fantasy team needs it. I need it.
You don't get points for pancakes.
Hey, maybe I'll adjust the score. Shit, Kyle, what's good? If everyone who's not watching, our guy Kyle Senra in the chat, what's good? Full Press Fantasy and all the crew, what's good out there? So my opinion would be, I think some of these potential favorites need to be a little worried. We mentioned the Rams. They've lost a few in a row. I would say the Cardinals are starting to get figured out, especially without Kyler Murray. You're worrying about some of the health of those pieces. They have a lot of pieces that are just injured right now. DeAndre Hopkins, you got Chase Edmonds, you have Kyler Murray. Those are all key pieces. Obviously, you know about their defensive injuries and whatnot. I think the Cowboys look good. I think, the Falcons, they were kind of an easy to beat up team. But at the same time, the Falcons are not as bad as we think. The Bucks, I think we really need to worry about the Bucks because they're playing a little shaky. I know it was maybe that you could say it's a bad game, but I think the Bucks really need to kind of continue to figure out what their offensive scheme is and what their offensive identity is. Defensively, I think Taylor Heineke can't beat you. Tom Brady, but obviously I think, at their best, I think the Bucks are one of the 2 best teams in the NFC. So we do have to respect them as well. But I think there's a few of these teams that we just need. They're still fine tuning some things and figuring together. The Rams, man, that's 2 ugly ones back to back. So I don't know. And the Seahawks, I mean, what was going on with the Seahawks and the crew? And you would think
I know what's going on with the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is preparing to move to Philadelphia. That's what's happening in Seattle.
Where do you get this from, yo?
Dog, Russell Wilson will be traded to Philadelphia.
Would you stop it? Where are you getting this from?
If he wants out of Seattle.
First you said Deshaun, then you said Russ. What's wrong with said Jalen Hurts, your franchise?
Nothing. So let me clear this up. I love Jalen.
Now hear me getting him now.
No, I've been a fan of Jalen all year, but dog, if you got a chance to get your hands on Russell Wilson, you got 3 first-round picks. One of them going to be in the top 10
right now, who is developing at a very great pace. You have him on a rookie deal. You surround him with some better weapons at the running back position. You maybe surround him with better defense. Now you have something instead of giving up half your cap to pay Russell Wilson, and then you don't know. I mean, you could. Speaking of NFC teams, the Detroit Lions are still without a win in the NFL this season. As everyone who didn't know, the Detroit Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers played this past Sunday to a tie. So this is my question to you, Danny. The Pittsburgh Steelers come into the game without Ben Roethlisberger, who tested positive for COVID-19. Interesting dynamic there because I bet you he wasn't vaccinated, but that's neither here nor there. The Detroit Lions are, well, they were with their starting QB. They were just the Detroit Lions, winless. So, given that this game came to a tie, who does this say more about? The team that couldn't lose without their starting quarterback, that did not lose the game without their starting quarterback, or the team that had their starting quarterback and couldn't win?
I think this is more of a reflection on the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Because every team, like the Eagles went into Detroit and throttled the Lions. Now I get it that it was raining in Pittsburgh, but that's kind of like Pittsburgh football, right? Like that's the kind of stuff they take pride in. And the fact that you get on the court, score 16 points on the Detroit Lions it's really telling. I'm actually the Lions have half of a win, so they aren't winless. They just have half of a win, and I'm just still shocked that Dan Campbell, what are we 9 weeks in, and his team is still fighting. Like they haven't folded at all. I think that's more impressive than anything. But yeah,
I think it's because they've been in just about every one of these games.
Yeah.
They've been very, very competitive in every one of these games. I think as a football player, I think you have, as demoralizing as it is something you have to build off of, that you are etching very close to victory at every point. You're just falling a little bit short. I think I'm with you, though. I think this says something about the Pittsburgh Steelers because you think about a lot of these other teams. I mean, they went in there. I mean, they played the Detroit Lions, and they put a thrashing on them. Granted, these are close games, but they're able to handle their business, outside of maybe a few that maybe outside of like the Ravens game that really came down to an interesting play. Most teams have been able to have their way with the Lions. So it makes you wonder, at the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're supposed to be a team, had they won that game, would have moved to first place in their division. You couldn't handle business against the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to go out on an even stronger limb and say the Steelers are frauds.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Steelers are frauds.
So rank the AFC North teams.
AFC North, Baltimore, and then I would either put in Pittsburgh or Cincinnati, and then Cleveland at the bottom. Like I feel like Cincinnati and
you think
Pittsburgh,
Cleveland is that behind of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh?
I think they're close. I think the Ravens are the class, and then a few notches below them, it is Cincinnati and Pittsburgh on the same field, and then maybe a notch under them is Cleveland because Baker's hurt.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What about you?
I think I would rank the Ravens at the top. I'm with you. Then I would go the Bengals. Then I might go the Browns and then the Steelers.
Dog, it's crazy that Myles Garrett is the NFL sack leader and like no one cares. He's not. He was entering Sunday.
Oh, you said that nobody cares. Okay. Wait, nobody cares? What are you talking about? He's gonna.
I haven't really heard much love from Myles Garrett.
There's probably an agenda being pushed against him, but the numbers are going to be there.
Yeah, like Myles Garrett leads the league in sacks right now, followed by TJ Watt. But people love TJ Watt.
See, where's Myles Garrett in terms of number wise? Is he at 10?
Let me see. This site doesn't have numbers; it just has the ranking. Let me see. Here we go. Give me sacks. Myles Garrett, 13 sacks.
He getting to the bag.
And then TJ Watt is behind him with 12.5. 13 sacks in 10 games.
He getting to the paper.
He already got paid. He got paid like 2 years ago, right?
He getting to the extension paper.
For real. That's insane.
They have to be like, yo, we got to pay you for real. Shout out to Myles Garrett. Hope you continue to have a great season. The Browns missed the playoffs. Does Garrett still get Defensive Player of the Year? Our guy Kyle asked that. Yes.
My question is, who else is in contention for Defensive Player of the Year? I thought for a minute it might be Devin White, but after Sunday, he was a tackling machine against the Washington racial slurs.
Trayvon Diggs. So and this is not Cowboys hate. It might be a little bit of Cowboys hate. I know the interceptions are sexy, but I feel like you can get Diggs. Like I know people like don't throw against Diggs, but I would argue that Diggs is susceptible to double moves, and I would throw on Diggs all day.
Like if I had a receiver who was an elite
But
route
the
runner.
numbers are still the numbers. The other side says he still
I mean,
leads
I hear
the
you.
as of
Give me his brother against him, and I think Stephon wins 8 out of 10 times. Like, give me an elite route runner
the
or
numbers say
someone who's
otherwise.
dominant like Nuke.
The numbers say otherwise. Leading the league, he has a good. I'm saying he has a good argument to be in the defensive player of the year.
And the last time I checked, PFF had him ranked like the 66th best corner in the league. Pro Football Focus.
Well, PFF can. You know what? I'm a good Christian.
Let me see where it's at now. Yeah, Jalen Ramsey's 1.
Another name who could be mentioned.
Who? Jalen Ramsey? Yeah. And Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald belongs in the conversation every year until he retires, because he's Aaron Donald.
There you go.
And Magabosa.
How's the season been going? I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the 49ers.
I know Nick he's top 10 in the league in sacks. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 7th in the league in sacks.
Oh man, does it now, Kyle? Nick is 7th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's Garrett's salary. Thank you, Kyle. Garrett signed a 5-year, $125 million extension that kicks in. Get that money, Miles. Have fun in Cleveland, though. Do you think the Browns?
Don't listen to him, Miles. You better get that money, young black man.
Yeah, get that money. Do you think
no matter what is lacking in Cleveland, you know what you got? That paper.
LeBron made it work in Cleveland, so can you, Miles.
Bron was only out there during the season time, during the side of the season. He was in LA. Speaking of Bron, no, go ahead.
My bad. Do you think the Browns get rid of Baker this year?
Oh, if they smart, they will. If they smart, they go ahead and get him going. Yo, if the Browns are smart, I think they make a trade for Baker for like a
that's the question.
Maybe a Russell Wilson.
I guess why would the Seahawks do that, and what are the Browns giving? Like, you have to give multiple first-round picks, no matter who gets Russell, because I think Russell's leaving Seattle one way or another.
But you're getting a first-round pick.
That's true. You're getting Russell. How old is Russell? How many prime years of Russell do we have left?
Maybe like
he's 32. Oh, yeah. You got like 5, 6, 7 years. Oh, yeah.
5.
They trade Baker to the Eagles. Kyle, are you what? Heavens no. He would not be welcome at Philadelphia.
Yes, he would.
Jalen is better than Baker.
You sure about that?
Positive. Absolutely positive.
Yo, do you think Baker is among the bottom tier starting quarterbacks in the NFL?
No, I think he's mid-tier. I think he and Ryan Tannehill kind of on the same plane.
Ryan Tannehill versus Baker Mayfield. Whose football team gets the field?
I have to go with the Titans, but I mean, he has Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown. And a coach that one. I mean, the Browns run the ball too. So he has Nick Chubb, who hasn't been Nick Chubb this year. Like, he's been on the COVID list. He's been hurt. I mean, you got Juice. You got Kareem Hunt. I mean, and Njoku hasn't.
Is that not the craziest RB2 to have at your disposal, Kareem Hunt?
Kareem Hunt. I mean, he both on ball last year.
Exactly. You want to talk about NBA?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Kyle said Tannehill over Mayfield.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. Jumping into the NBA, though. So early out the gates of this NBA season, the Golden State Warriors have the best record in the NBA. Can you believe that, Matthew? But the Eastern Conference as a whole, my man, it's looking pretty solid. And I think me, you, and the experts did not have this Eastern Conference being this competitive. So I guess as you look into this current NBA landscape, as you have a big game tonight between the Nets and the Warriors, what are your thoughts on this NBA landscape, my man? Speak on it.
So I'm going to start in the Eastern Conference. To whoever went to DraftKings or their bookie and said that the Washington Wizards would be the number 1 seed through 12 games, I hope you never have to work another day in your life because you are a prophet. With that
so?
being said, the Eastern Conference, to me, as competitive as it seems, I still feel, excuse me, that it's relatively weak, right? Like we have the Wizards are your 1 seed. I feel like the Bulls are legit, the Nets are legit, the Heat is legit, the Sixers are legit, and even though the Bucks are 6-8, like they're still the champions. Like other than that, Atlanta has fallen off a cliff. I mean, the Cavaliers are the 5 seed. Like, do you believe in the Cavaliers? Do you believe in the Wizards? And do you think
The Cavaliers got a few injuries and people on COVID lists right now.
Okay. But do you still, even at full strength, do you think the Washington Wizards and the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to remain in that top echelon of Eastern Conference teams as the season progresses?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you have to think. I mean, where's Philly right now? Where do you think they're going to net out if, let's just say, Ben Simmons doesn't come back? Let's just
Philly
say
is the
Brooklyn.
7th seed.
If they don't get Ben back, I mean, are you sure that they're able to make the playoffs without him? I think, it's just pieces like that.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the Eastern Conference. I think it's a little bit more competitive than you're trying to give it credit for. If I look at it, I think there's a lot of young teams who are on the cusp. I think a lot of draft picks. I think a lot of the older Eastern Conference teams are now Western Conference foes, and I think a lot of those draft picks that these Eastern Conference teams got, or that they received, they're starting to turn into some decent players that we're seeing, and they're starting to build some teams. You got teams like Miami down there who's building some things. I think you got teams like the Hornets who are young. They got some athletes who can really play. I think that team in Detroit is figuring it out, but they're not going to be bad going down the road. Obviously, we know about the Knicks who are figuring it out. The Bulls are a really exciting team. The Celtics, I think, once they're healthy, they can figure some things out. So I think the East is competitive. Obviously, Atlanta, as you mentioned, they started out hot, now they're kind of falling off, but still, they're still a really good team. So I think the East is a lot more competitive. I think they're going to stay competitive. I think the West, it's man, what the hell's going on, man? The Lakers, I mean, man, we need Braun back, right? We need Braun back.
Yeah, there's no need to panic if you're a Lakers fan.
I'll say this, and you let me know if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
These last couple of games, Westbrook has been getting better, and I've been seeing the improvement with not only Westbrook but some of the team. With that being said, these last 2 losses, we stink. These are nasty losses. Get it together, man. Thoughts?
So the Western Conference, like Laker fans, chill out. LeBron isn't even home. Like we have so much more basketball to play. Like I saw this tweet about like the Russell Westbrook timeline, and it's like he's trash until Christmas, figures it out, and then February to the playoffs, he's a Hall of Famer. Like you guys are right on schedule. You're the 7th seed now. I'm looking at the conference standings now. It's going to be a tough climb, but I know the Mavericks are 3-9-4. I am not a believer in the Mavericks just yet.
How are you feeling about the Mavericks? That's a good question. That's another question I've been wanting to ask you at these last 2 weeks, especially with your boy. He's potentially about to miss some time, Luka Doncic is, for those who don't know.
It's very sad. But I think before I jump to the Mavs, the only thing I need to say about the Lakers is they need a top 4 seed. They need home court advantage throughout the playoffs or for the majority of the playoffs, or they will not win the title. So that should be like the biggest. Like you need the 4 seed at minimum, 2nd seed best, because I think the Warriors are just too far ahead. How I feel about the Mavericks, I know they're 3rd in the West right now. I know Luka might miss some time, but I low-key think the Mavericks are frauds right now because the Mavs had a very easy schedule. They've had the Spurs like 3 times. Like they beat the Nuggets last night, and that's the best win they've had all year. But they played Atlanta opening night, got throttled. They played Denver on national television, got throttled. And then they played the Bulls and lost by like 10 or 12. Like every good team they've played outside of Denver last night, they've lost to.
And I'm looking at them right now. They are currently 9-4, third in the Western Conference. So not a bad start. You're saying you think they're frauds because against the good teams, they maybe haven't shown up.
Yeah, and also like if you look into the, I actually did this other day. If you look into the Mavericks like offensive numbers, like especially per 100 possessions and like their efficiency, like they're getting better, but they're still like at the bottom half of the league on the offensive side of the ball, which is absurd because you have Luka Doncic. So say what you want about Rick Carlisle, but you know they're going to score 120 a night.
Mm-hmm. Yo, what do you think about this notion Kyle just mentioned in the chat that if Simmons doesn't come back, that the Philadelphia 76ers are winning the NBA title? Kyle, I'm going to say this, my personal opinion. I think that's absolutely blasphemous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Unless you're speaking of a trade in which Ben Simmons will then be traded for another star player, I would need to know who the star player is. But if you're saying Ben Simmons can just sit, if Ben Simmons was to sit out and they get nothing for him, that the Sixers would win an NBA title.
But Maxey has been balling in his place. I think Maxey had like 30-something points the other night.
Okay.
I'm not saying they can win a title, but I'm saying that the Sixers are still pretty good.
I'm not saying they're not pretty good. I'm saying winning an NBA title, though. Come on, Danny. Come on.
How scary are the Warriors to you? I am petrified of them.
I'm not scared of them.
Really? Clay's not back, and neither is James Wiseman.
And neither is Braun. And we ain't got second half Westbrook yet.
Okay.
We got some dogs.
I'm not saying you don't have dogs. I'm saying Steph is playing it. He's back at his MVP level.
We got Braun.
And that's scary. Steph heard y'all talking about him last year. Steph, I didn't say anything.
And Braun been hearing y'all talk about him too. Y'all heard him at his last. Yo, did you not hear him at his last when he won his last ring? He won his damn respect too. I gave it to him. Why you not giving it to him? Pause.
I give LeBron his respect all the time. I'm just saying Steph is playing like an MVP right now. He's winning without his top co-star because Draymond is the third wheel, and then it's James Wiseman.
Yeah, what about this Gary Payton II? How do you like his game in the NBA right now?
It's cool. It's a great story. About the underdog getting his chance. Mm-hmm. I love it. I want more Gary Payton II.
Okay.
I want to call him G2.
So they call him what? I thought they call him GP2.
Okay. I was like, yeah, why not just call him G2 or GP2?
Yeah, I thought they may call him GP2. I don't know. Research, do you know? I don't know. He may not know. So speaking of the Lakers in basketball, who do you think won the Westbrook trade between the Wizards and the Lakers? Who do you think won it so far?
One team's the top team in their conference. The other one would be in the play-in tournament right now. I think the Wizards are winning it right now. Now, talk to me in April, and we may have another discussion. But as we live and breathe right now, the Wizards have won.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. This will be a funny one. When you were on vacation, I don't know if you happened to see the new tag team championship battle of the world. The Morris brothers versus the Jokic brothers. What were your thoughts on that?
What kind of match is this?
Who wins TLC match?
I'm going to have to give the advantage. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to give the advantage to the Jokic brothers. If it's just a regular match, I don't know. This is a tough one.
TLC, the tag TLC match. Come on now.
Is it a tornado tag or is it a traditional tag?
Nah, it's a tornado tag. It's a TLC match.
Is the belt hanging above the ring?
Oh yeah.
Oh, then the Jokic brothers.
They agile for big men.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on.
You're taking the Jokic brothers, and I'm in a TLC match. I'm gonna go with the Morris brothers because I ain't gonna be like Danny Ocean and Cave to the white man. Salute on to the brothers out here. We gonna take him for the championship.
Can I explain my reasoning why I would
Nah,
pick the Jokic brothers?
nah,
I
okay.
feel like growing up in a colder climate like Serbia, their bodies would be able to take
Yeah, but when you
chair
growing up
shots
when you
better.
growing up in the hood, you jumping from the bedpost to the couch, to the stairs.
That is an excellent point. You know, did you hear about the story about the Morris brothers pulling up to an AAU game and beating up a guy who broke up with their mom or broke their mom's heart?
And you don't think these brothers could take the Jokic brothers and a TLC
Now that
match?
I say that story out loud, yeah, I'm gonna change my pick. I think the Morris brothers would.
Yeah, while you were out, did you see the black on white? I mean, the Allen on Allen crime. What were your thoughts on the Allen on Allen crime? Because if you think about the press that came into that game, it was like the sports. It was like the sports betting gods were watching. They heard everyone say Josh Allen is going to put up numbers on Josh Allen, but they meant the offensive Josh on the defensive Josh. That's not what happened.
I know that game ended 9-6.
It was an ugly game.
It was a very ugly game. That's the only way Jacksonville could win. I don't mind it. I like that Josh Allen, the defender, was able to talk his trash to Josh Allen, the quarterback. I thought it was awesome.
Okay. Well, how do you feel about this Eagles win over the Broncos? What were your main takeaways?
Oh boy. Let's talk about these Philadelphia Eagles. First, thank you, Kyle, for looking this up. Gary Payton's reference is the mitten.
Is the mitten. Okay. Gary Payton Sr. was the glove.
I like it. That's a cool nickname.
I like it.
Can we get controversial? Can we say something reckless?
Are you not going to speak on it?
I am. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be the 7th seed and grab the last wild card spot.
Okay.
Hear me out.
Research. You hear this?
They are on the bubble right now.
Research. You hear this?
Can I finish? Where are my conference standings? Here we go. So right now the Eagles are 4-6. The Falcons are above them. They have the tiebreaker against the Falcons. The Niners, the Vikings, and the Panthers are above them. They have the tiebreaker against the Panthers. They play the Saints on Sunday. The Saints are the 6th seed. So if they beat the Saints, they would have 3 tiebreakers over 3 teams above them. The Eagles don't have to get on another plane for the rest of the season. And the quarterbacks they face are Trevor Siemian, Daniel Jones twice, Taylor Heinicke twice, and then they play Dak at the end of the year, and that's if the Cowboys don't sit him because they have the 1 seed wrap up. I think these Eagles are primed for a run and make a real push for that 7th seed.
Is this what you tell yourself to really help yourself sleep when you think about how your damn bum?
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Out of these teams.
You're wrong. That's not going to happen because the Eagles are a mediocre team at best, and at most they are not equipped to be going to war with some of these better equipped teams. And you have to give up the fact that they're bound to drop a game or two just off, bad calls or bad execution. This is not happening, man.
I'm not saying the Eagles are going to go undefeated for the rest of the year. I'm saying that the Eagles are in a prime. You played Daniel Jones twice. You played Taylor Heinicke.
You can't say that. If the NFC's trash out of 6 or 7 teams, that's the playoff field.
The Philadelphia Eagles is 11-16. The Philadelphia Eagles will make a run for that 7th seed. We here. And if we get the 7th seed as currently constructed, we would have to go to Arizona and the season would be end there. Because we're not beating the Cardinals. That's a fact.
Yeah, what happens if you guys think let's just say you guys get the 7th seed and play the Cowboys.
So here's my thing on that. I am not afraid. I respect the Cowboys and that offense, but I'm not afraid of them. I would want to play the Cowboys because they are division foes.
You think you know them very
Those,
well?
yes,
Okay.
especially if it's in Dallas, which it would be in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be interesting for the Eagles to play Dallas. I think they play them week 17 and then turn around and play them the next week for a playoff game. That'd be very interesting. Because I don't know if the Eagles could beat them 2 times in a row.
Shit, I don't think they can beat them 1 time in a row.
Okay. Thank you, Kyle. Right now, the 7th seed has 4 wins. The Eagles have 4 wins. We right there.
Speaking of the NFL, what do you think? Okay. Mac Jones, can we both agree, is the best rookie quarterback in this draft class so far?
He's having the best year. He's not the best quarterback in this draft class.
So would you say he's having the best rookie year? That's what I'm saying.
He is having the best rookie year so far, yes.
Is it fair to say that these young QBs stink when they're young QBs?
So
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So my question is it unfair of us as sports fans and analysts and commentators to put so much emphasis and pressure on these young bulls to be good quarterbacks? Because quarterbacking in the NFL, that even I'll give Troy Aikman's ass a lot of credit for this. It's hard to play and it takes some time. That and receiver, it takes some time to develop. Are we being a little bit too harsh on these young players?
I think so. I think we're so used to the Justin Herberts, like the people who break the norm instead of the norm, right? Like Trevor Lawrence is struggling, but I think that's because of Urban Meyer. I was never a fan of Zach Wilson. I know he's hurt right now, but I wasn't a fan of Zach Wilson at BYU. I think Justin Fields is being held back by Matt Nagy. I feel like once Nagy is fired this year, we might see the real Justin Fields. And then Trevor Lawrence, that's the one I'm most concerned about. Like it's week 9, 10, and you still haven't beat out Jimmy G. No offense to Jimmy G, but the thought was
not Trevor Lawrence. You mean Trey Lance? Yeah,
Trey Lance. My bad. Trey Lance would take over week 4, week 5, and just run with it, especially after Jimmy G missed some time. And like he hasn't won that job yet. Now is that on Kyle Shanahan?
Is that really Jimmy G's job to lose?
I mean, I feel like if you draft a guy 4 overall, you're going to make – 3 overall, you're going to make it really easy for him to get the starting job. Like, you're not going to put the same –
But at the same time, why rush a guy out there if he's not ready? I.e. Jordan Love. Shout out to my Packers.
Shout out to your Packers. I don't know. Like, that just – if you draft a guy 3rd overall and he's not ready to play – should you have drafted him 3rd overall? Like Aaron Rodgers was drafted, 12, 15?
He was in maybe the early 20s, maybe.
Yeah, like you can do that with someone that late in the draft. Like, but if you draft a quarterback top 10, you're saying to me that you think he can play NFL football today.
That doesn't mean he can't. That just means he needs some time to develop. You gotta let these young guys. You shouldn't have taken him
3 overall and given up all that capital to get him.
But you have to believe in the potential and the talent.
That's true. But do you have time for that potential and that talent to come to fruition? Because coaches don't have the same leashes that they used to. I mean, the streets are already talking about firing Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
Which I don't get. They just went to a Super Bowl three seasons ago, and they haven't really been healthy.
Hey, dog, the Eagles won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. What happened?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. What happened?
Fired the coach 2 years later.
Mm-hmm. And that's after winning the Super Bowl, not losing.
Yeah, you know who else needs to be fired in terms of coaches?
Who's that?
Me as a fantasy coach.
Oh, come on. You're just like you're having a – why didn't you do that trade with me? I offered you a great trade, and you went and turned around and gave Adam Thielen to someone else.
I gave Adam Thielen because I needed an RB2. So, people, we're getting into my weekly fantasy chat. As you all may know, me and Danny are in a league together. Danny's team, and I guess I can say this now as both lead commissioner and well, I can say this is lead commissioner. The playoff standings, I mean, they're pretty much solidified. We know the teams are going to be in it. Everyone's pretty much fighting for playoff seeding now. Danny's team has currently a 1% chance of making the playoffs.
That's all I need, baby. That's all I need. We won this week. We back. I need Q Anon Aaron to get his act together, and we back. Someone let Brandon Ayuk go. We good, baby.
Yeah.
3-7. We all right.
The numbers say I have a 100% chance of making the playoffs, which means I think I'm pretty solidified to make it in. So the trade that Danny was talking about earlier today, I did trade away Adam Thielen to get Myles Gaskin. It was a straight up trade. This last couple weeks I've been struggling at the running back position. Derrick Henry was my first round draft pick. Obviously, I think we all know what happened there. Danny and I were in some trade discussions last week. He had asked for Mike Evans and who else?
And Tony Pollard for
Mike Evans and Tony Pollard for
Waddle and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, Waddle and Adrian Peterson. Yeah, so he wanted me to give up Mike Evans and Tony Pollard for me to receive Jalen Waddle and Adrian Peterson. I don't know about that trade.
You get Derrick Henry's replacement, and Jalen Waddle has put up decent numbers.
But I don't really want Derrick Henry's replacement. I think that's where I'm at in that offer, Danny.
Okay.
I think if we talk in potential trade packages,
So my question would be, who on my team are you looking at? Because you have your eye on somebody. You're gonna say something reckless. I just want to hear you say it. Who are you looking at?
I think I'm looking at Jalen Waddle, or
you're looking at Dalvin Cook, but that's not going to happen. Dalvin staying with me.
Nah, I can't do that. I need like a serious, like a Jalen. Actually, no, I don't even really need a Jalen Waddle. How do you feel about Amari Cooper?
Amari Cooper is. Oh, hold on. Kyle mentioned about the trade offer. He said that he agrees with you. He's not crazy about giving up Thielen for Gaskin, but that's still better value than what I'm giving. Okay, for Mike Evans. All right. Okay, Kyle. I'm just trying to make.
I do need some RB play. Last week I played Michael Carter and Javonte Williams. I'm not too sold on that one. Without Derrick Henry, it's ugly. So I had to give away a piece to maybe get someone who at least is going to get a pretty decent workload. Right now, I got DK Metcalf, I got Mike Evans.
It's looking at your team. It's gonna take a little bit of love if you want to get your hands on Amari Cooper.
Okay.
It's gonna take a little bit if you want to get your hands on Amari Cooper.
How do you feel? Go ahead.
I mean, what about Amari Cooper for Evans and Tony Pollard?
I don't know about that one, boss.
Kyle, how about that? Kyle, judge that trade. I get Mike Evans and Tony Pollard, and D gets.
I don't know about that one.
You get Amari Cooper, and I'll even throw in. Hold on, let me go to my team. I'll give you Cooper, and I'll even throw in. Come on, where my team at? I'll even throw in Noah Fant.
No, I'm not going to do that. Here's what I will do though. For Amari Cooper, I can offer you Tony Pollard and Dalton Schultz.
No. If you want Amari Cooper, the floor is Mike Evans. Like we not even talking. If you're not even giving me Mike Evans,
People, he won't meet me halfway.
no, that's not even halfway. I'm crossing the
All
city.
right. What about Christian Kirk? What about Christian Kirk and Tony Pollard?
How about Amari from Mike Evans straight up?
Well, then, no, I wouldn't do that.
All right. How about this? Amari, Jalen Waddle from Mike Evans. I'll give you Amari and Jalen Waddle from Mike Evans. And if you want to throw in Tony Pollard because we're cool, I'll take Tony Pollard too.
I don't know about that one.
Kyle, is that a good trade? Amari for Mike Evans and Jalen Waddle and Amari Cooper for Mike Evans. Is that a good trade? I think it's a good trade. And then I could have AJ Brown and Mike Evans do nothing together.
Okay. What about Javonte Williams, Tony Pollard, and Dalton Schultz, all for Amari Cooper?
No. Nope. If I'm giving you a stud, then I got to get a stud back.
Yo, how do you feel about Sterling Shepard?
I do not like Sterling. I'm not touching any New York Giant as long as Daniel Jones is their quarterback.
I don't know, man.
Jalen Waddle and Amari Cooper for Mike Evans. I feel like that's a real strong deal.
I'll take a think on it.
You said that last time and you ain't never get back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I thought about it, that was me saying, nah, that was.
Yeah, I appreciate how kind.
I don't know about this particular trade. I would want to keep Mike Evans.
Final offer.
If Derrick Henry wasn't hurt, I think I might take that trade.
Final offer. Waddle, Cooper, and Jordan Howard for Mike Evans. Jordan Howard has been eating with the Eagles the past 3 or 4
Miles Sanders is about to come back, though.
I have a feeling I'm getting the vibe that this coaching staff does not like Miles Sanders. That's the vibe I'm getting. Jordan Howard is your short yardage back now. So if it's 4th and 1, it's going to go to Jordan Howard or Boston Scott.
You need a tight end, though.
Do I? I have Noah Fant and Darren Waller. I don't need a tight end.
Oh, I forgot you have Darren Waller.
Yeah, I have Darren Waller. I don't need a tight end. I'm good at tight end.
What exactly do you need?
I need another receiver and one more decent running back. That's why I have I have Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette.
Yo, I have plenty of good flex running backs, though.
Yeah, I said Tony Pollard. Like, if you want to throw in, like, I don't need a running back, but I would want another running back.
But I'm saying he's not even the best flex running back. I can give you multiple flex running backs.
What flex running backs you gonna give me? Hold on, let me go back to your roster. I want Pollard. But if you want to give me Carter from the Jets, no, I'm just kidding. You ain't giving him up.
Javonte Williams, when playing, he carries a lot. Tony Pollard.
No, I have Melvin Gordon in another league, and Melvin Gordon has been feasting for me.
He gets all the touchdowns. That's what.
Yeah, he gets the TDs.
Darrell Williams, I think I'm ready to. He had a pretty good last game. As long as he's a starter, he's viable. He's a pretty good player. I don't know.
Waddle, Evans, and Howard for Mike Evans, and if you want to be nice, Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle. Kyle said Waddle and Cooper for Evans is the most fair offer I've heard from either side.
Thank you, Kyle.
I can be reasonable. My mom didn't raise a heathen.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Ladies and gentlemen, that means he's not doing anything. This time next week, I'm still going to have the same roster.
Well, maybe next week the offer will change then.
Maybe. Is there a trade deadline in this league?
Who knows?
You're the commissioner. You should know if there's a trade deadline in this league. You're going to keep extending it until you get your hands.
Actually, I honestly don't know when it is. So hold on. So there might not be one.
I'm about to get throttled this week.
Yo, pause. Oh, the trade deadline is Wednesday, December 1st.
Okay, so we got a week. We got a couple weeks. Okay. Think about it. Get back to me.
I mean, I just don't know, man. Really, the one thing I need is a really decent flex, but I'm trying to keep my current team. If I had Derrick Henry, this would be a different conversation.
Jalen Waddle's your flex.
Yeah, but if I have him and Myles Gaskin, I'm getting bottlenecked.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
People, that's why we speak on it, because we can figure some things out.
Last one. Since you don't want to get bottlenecked, well, you have George Kittle. Never mind. So, yeah, you were saying, I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, live trade negotiations brought to you by the Speak On It cast. Who knows if we're going to come to a trade agreement? Who knows? We'll keep you updated there. Last thing I wanted to get your thoughts on. So a certain school fired their head coach today.
Really?
And that would be the Virginia Tech Hokies. They fired Justin Fuente after 6 years. Thank the Lords. Really quick, who do you think should be the next head coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies?
I think it's time for Virginia Tech to go big game hunting. I know they like giving small school coaches opportunities. Like, they pulled Justin from Memphis, but it might be time to go see if you can find someone. It's going to be hard, right? Because it's Blacksburg, it's Virginia Tech, but whoever they hire needs to start building up that pipeline back from the 757. Like whoever it is, that's priority number one, going to the 757 to get some local talent.
Who do you think that should be?
You know what? To be honest, I haven't even thought about the coaching carousel. Maybe you can pull out the guy from Cincinnati. Well, that's what you just did with Fuente. I don't know, like what big fish are out there. Are we going to talk to Urban Meyer?
I heard someone say we should take the coach from Wake Forest. I thought that was interesting.
That'd be
I'm going to say a name. Hugh Freeze.
Absolutely not. Hugh Freeze was fired from Ole Miss because he was texting the prostitutes on a state-issued phone. You don't want them Hugh Freeze problems. Hugh Freeze, remember Hugh Freeze?
You see that offense, though? You see that offense, though?
Did you see Hugh Freeze laying up in that hospital bed his first year at Liberty in the visitor's box? You don't want them problems in Blacksburg.
Lane Kiffin? No, I'm playing.
Lane Kiffin out of Ole Miss?
No. He thriving. Who knows? Brent Venables was my other choice, but we'd have to throw him the super bag.
Okay.
We'd have to throw him the super bag to get him from Clemson because he's one of the highest paid assistants. Who knows?
Then do what you got to do. Yes, Kyle, go Google that. Go Google Hugh Freeze texting the hose on a state issue phone.
Man, nothing wrong with that.
It is if it's a state issue phone.
Yeah, well, actually, yeah. People don't be sexting on the state issue phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. That's the agenda I got, man. What else we need to speak on, man?
I will say one thing about UVA football and how
About the smoke tech?
No. So they got like their first ABC prime. They got the ABC primetime game against Notre Dame Saturday night in Charlottesville, throttled. Granted, their starting QB is hurt, and their starting QB was a true freshman who was playing baseball in the spring. Like, y'all ain't got nobody on grounds outside of that kid who can throw a football. It was sad, man. I turned it off.
Excuses?
Huh? I don't know the kid's name. I just know I watched the first quarter, and they're like, he was playing baseball in the spring. He throws a 95-mile fastball.
Don't matter when the Notre Dame defensive end's at your neck.
Dog. UVA has 6 wins. They're bowl eligible, but there was a moment there where they could have won their division and played for an ACC championship, and I think that window was closed.
Yo, Justin Fuente beat Duke and got fired the Tuesday after.
No, they mutually agreed to part ways.
He got fired.
Yeah, see, right now, well, let that man leave with his pride. So I'm sorry, UVA's only, they're 6-4, they're 4-2 in the conference. They're 2 games behind Pitt. Pitt's 5-1, 8-2 overall. So right now, your ACC championship game would be the Pitt Panthers versus the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Put that joint on a Tuesday afternoon. That does not deserve a Saturday night.
You think the winner that goes on to the college football playoff?
Hell no, they don't go to the college football playoff. ACC ain't going to no football to playoff this year.
You think so?
They don't. I mean, Wake Forest not getting any respect now. They're not even on the bubble, if I'm not mistaken.
SEC's going to put 2 teams in the playoff, aren't they?
Yes, they are. So you got Georgia, Bama, Cincinnati, Oregon. Wake Forest is 13th.
SEC, man, they keep doing this shit.
Hey, but Georgia, they different animals, man.
They keep doing this shit, man.
Georgia people like the SEC.
I need Georgia to lose a game so that way that SEC championship becomes a play-in, and that opens the door for a whole another team.
Right now, that team would be Ohio State.
Good.
I'll take that. I'm fine with that.
I might. Hey, Vegas.
the D gun.
Yeah. Push the button. Hey man, tell the people where they can find us at, man, on our socials and your socials, man.
So you can find the show's social, Twitter and Instagram, speak on it _pod. If you want to hear me talk about foolishness, especially now that Thanksgiving's coming, maybe next week we should do a Thanksgiving draft, like foods.
Let's do it.
You can find me, MattAds14. D.
People, you already know when you see this retired Nas face, that it could only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. You can find me at LOSDEEMIX on Twitter, on Instagram, on wherever you need to find a brother at. The Lakers look shaky, but not me, baby, because you know when it comes down to it, I'm going to speak on it and get right to it. I got the bars, yo. I got the bars for you. Shout out to my guy, Kyle, as always, showing love. Shout out to everyone who's been showing love, downloading. Love y'all, man. Really appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all go follow the Speak On It Instagram and Twitter. We really appreciate the love, man. We doing something here.
Peace.
Love.